everyone. I hope you're having an amazing day. Today I want to pop in with something big, and I really want to share my thoughts and feelings around this. As you can tell from the title of this video, I'm going to be talking about maybe a sensitive subject for a lot of people, and my wholehearted belief that sugar addiction is hands down the worst addiction to overcome. And this may ruffle a few feathers for you, especially if you have other addiction that runs in the family with alcohol or drugs or gambling or these things that we deem as a society more dangerous addictions. And I want to share with you today why I have no doubt in my mind that sugar addiction is the worst addiction to overcome. And I really hope that you understand and take this in for yourself, because here's another bomb that I want to drop. I believe that we are all addicted to sugar in one way or another, okay? And we're all at a different place in the journey with our addiction to sugar. And I can say this so confidently because I know most of us, especially here in North America, have been raised from childhood. And candy and sugar and white bread and white things are a huge part of that upbringing. So knowing how addictive physically sugar is, I have no doubt that we are all at some level addicted to sugar, even me. And I've gotten to a place where I'm on this end of the spectrum where I'm in control of my addiction. And a lot of us, maybe you, aren't quite there yet. So it really is this broad spectrum. And this is one of the reasons that sugar addiction is the worst. I mean, it has been flushed into our bodies since childhood. Not many of us can say that about other hard drugs, right? Other addictive substances that we think of when we think of addiction. So why is sugar addiction the worst? Why can I sit here before you today saying that sugar addiction is the worst addiction to overcome? Here's my huge list, okay? So first, it's cheap. It is so cheap. Combine that with the second point of it being so easily accessible. So anybody can afford it and find it, right? So it is literally everywhere. Kids can go and buy candy for 5 cents. It's at all the checkouts in the grocery stores. It's just in your face all day, every day. And this combination of it being really, really cheap and easily accessible is just, combine that with the fact that it's addictive on a cellular biological level, is just a recipe for addiction and a recipe for disaster, which is kind of where we're all getting to. I mean, take a look around at the health epidemic that's taking place in North America. And this can all be related back to the overconsumption of sugar. And it's not just me saying that, science is backing that up, okay? Go and look at the research. So the third thing that's going on and why sugar addiction is the worst is that ever since childhood, we have learned to link food and sugar with treating or rewarding ourselves. And we've gotten into this cycle as adults where we tend to want to treat or reward ourselves almost every day. We survived the day, I deserve a treat or reward. And we learned to link those two words or actions from childhood with sugar. So this is a pathway that exists in our brain that's really difficult to break. Hence, doing the mindset work and getting to this place that I have. This is just one of the pieces to look at. But that is, whenever we think we want to reward or treat ourselves, we automatically go for this addictive, easy, cheap substance to get, right? Okay, the next reason that sugar addiction is the worst is that it is incredibly socially acceptable. Okay, so you could easily overdose on sugar for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and nobody around you would bat an eye. They would assume that's normal because they're all doing it too. Now, if you were getting drunk or high for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, our society would kind of look at you strange, right? They would know you have a problem. They would be concerned for you. And maybe after a while, your family would speak up and encourage you to do something about that. But with sugar, nobody bats an eye. And this, I think, is one of the most dangerous pieces of sugar addiction, is that we don't acknowledge how dangerous it is. And we let our family members or loved ones or ourselves completely go overboard without expressing any fear or concern or worry as we would if they were getting drunk for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So this social acceptability is dangerous. And this is one of the biggest reasons that sugar addiction is the worst. Tying into that a little bit is the next reason is that, there's all of these social pressures around sugar, to eat sugar. I mean, going to somebody's birthday party, or somebody bakes you cookies and brings them to your house, Halloween parties. Like, there's so many situations that we get into in society, whether it's an office party or a birthday party or Christmas or all these things where we're almost expected from the environment and the people that we're with to eat sugar. Because if you say, no, thank you for bringing over cookies to my house, but I don't want them, or you're at a birthday party and you say, no, I don't want any cake, or somebody actually offers you something, and you say no, there's a huge pressure around that, because we've all linked sugar with love. And in a lot of those situations, people aren't offering you cake, they're offering you their love and their friendship. And when you say no, it really makes for an awkward situation, doesn't it? If you've ever tried this before, you know what I'm talking about. And this is one of the most tricky things to navigate when you're getting off of the sugar roller coaster. And one of the things I love helping my clients with, because this people pleasing comes out in all of us, doesn't it? Not wanting to let anyone down or hurt anyone's feelings, so I might as well eat the cake, or I might as well just eat all the cookies. And this is a really, really dangerous sort of psychological game that we're going through that, just only feeds into how dangerous sugar addiction is and how difficult it is to overcome, especially if you're not as extroverted and blunt as me. I mean, I feel like that's a gift. When people are offering me things that I don't want, I have no problem saying no. But you might not be that type of personality, right? That might be really difficult for you to say, no, I don't want any cookies in this moment. And no, I'm not eating sugar, but thank you. So if that's tricky for you, this is a really, really big, difficult situation. So another social aspect of what makes sugar addiction so difficult to overcome is that it often triggers people around you. So what I mean when I say that is, when you take a stand for yourself and say, I'm not going to eat sugar anymore, or I'm doing a sugar detox, I'm choosing not to eat sugar at this birthday party, oftentimes that will tend to trigger somebody else who's around you. Because here's the thing about human nature. We tend to not want those around us to change, even if it means that they're trying to improve their lives. It's a very subconscious, primal aspect of being a human being. We want everybody to stay the same so that we know how to relate with them. We know what our relationship with them looks like. And when they start to change, whether it's your friend or your family member or your spouse, it actually triggers us. It triggers our things, because deep down, we all want to be healthy. We all want to take a stand for ourselves and for our future and live our best lives. And if you're not doing that, and somebody close to you decides to start taking control and responsibility for their health in the form of giving up sugar, it actually creates a really, really difficult sort of energy and triggering you. You may have noticed this. Maybe you've had someone around you that's gone vegan or done something that deep down you've always wanted to do, but you've never had the courage to do. It's triggering, right? It brings up all of your stuff and all of your fears and all of the thoughts, well, why am I not doing that? Whether or not you're aware of it or not, this is what's going on in the subconscious. So when you decide to, take some time off of sugar, or you're in a social situation and you honestly decide, no, I don't want sugar right now, I'm choosing not to have this cake, or thank you for this box of chocolates, but I'm not going to eat it, I'm going to regift it to someone. That can often really trigger others around you. So that, even just that sort of energetic, emotional relationship kind of stickiness, we'll call it, makes sugar addiction really difficult to overcome. I mean, all of these social situations are really working against you when it comes to sugar. So that's huge. I mean, and we don't see that with any other addiction, not that I know. And I can sit here and definitely say this with confidence. It's taken me a while to get here. And I've had a lot of conversations with close friends of mine and people that I've met that have been addicted to all of the hard stuff, we'll call it. Like the stuff that we think as the worst addictions on the planet. And they all tell me, Dani, sugar is still the one I can't kick. Sugar is still the one that controls me. And it's fascinating when I hear them say that, because these are people who've overcome like heroin addiction or cocaine addiction, alcohol addiction, like these really hard things. And sugar is still the one at play. And why? Why is that? Because of all these reasons: the social pressures, the cheap, easy accessibility, the deep-rooted connection to rewarding and treating ourselves. And next on the list is that sugar is also linked to all of our emotions. I do every time I do a talk or host a workshop, I always ask this question, and I have yet to find an emotion that cannot be linked to sugar. So my question for you is, what emotion does not make you think of or crave sugar? So from childhood, we're taught very quickly not only to numb out from any uncomfortable emotions, that's a discussion for another day, but we're taught to link every single emotion with sugar: love, joy, connection, friendship, anger, stress, sadness, loneliness, boredom, grief, gratefulness. Like every single emotion that I've come across or thought of can easily be linked to being treated or acting with connection with food and sugar. So this is a huge one, because of course, every day we go through emotions, and every day each of those emotions is telling us, I'm feeling this, so I need sugar. I want to celebrate, therefore I need sugar. I'm feeling sad, therefore I need ice cream. Everything is linked, and this is really, really difficult. And this starts obviously at childhood, and this is not the case with other addictions. For most of us, right? We don't get fed it and start our addiction at the age of 1, or whenever you stop. Even when you're breastfeeding, it's high in sugar, right? So that connection with every single emotion is really, really tricky. This next reason, I think, is one of the biggest. And I talked about how cheap and easily accessible sugar is, which is absolutely at the root of why this is such a difficult addiction to give up. But sugar is now hiding in over 80% of our grocery store. Because it's so cheap, and addictive, food manufacturers use a ton of sugar in any food product. I'm using quotation marks because packaged things usually aren't actually food. But that's where all the sugar is hiding. It's hiding in the most bizarre places, like pasta sauces, salsa, soup stock, salad dressings, obviously in your yogurt, in any bottled beverage, in your almond milk, right? Like so many places that it's sneaky and hiding, and they're adding it in as a cheap flavor and filler. And so the fact that it's kind of hiding everywhere is what in the first place has gotten us all addicted to it. I wholeheartedly believe none of us went out with the intent to become addicted to sugar. It just happened. And now we're at this place where we're taking a look around at the huge health crisis and epidemic that's taking place. And we can't ignore it anymore. We can't ignore that this is what's going on. We've been accidentally overdosing since we were children, and now it's like everywhere in the grocery store. So that makes it obviously very difficult. I mean, could you imagine if 80% of the food in our grocery store was laced with cocaine, right? Like, we wouldn't do that, right? We wouldn't allow that. So why are we allowing a substance that's actually been proven to be more addictive than cocaine and more dangerous for our health into all of our food products? And this is why I do what I do, because this frustrates me. It infuriates me that this is what's going on with our food system. And this confusion, this is the next sort of reason why addiction is sugar addiction is the worst, is that we are confused as consumers as to like, what is sugar? Where is it actually hiding? Like, how do I even label read? Like, it doesn't say the word sugar on it. Well, what are the other 90 different names for sugar that I should be looking out for? Like, there's so much confusion in our grocery stores now over like, what's real food and what's fake food? What is sugar? What's not sugar? And the sad truth of it is that the food industry loves that we're confused and addicted. And I don't want to get really negative in this, but this is what's going on. They really benefit from presenting us with the solution to our confusion, whether it's pharmaceuticals or drugs, or whether it's a package right next door that says low sugar that's loaded with chemicals or other things. And being addicted benefits their sales. You know, the more we eat, the more addicted we are, the more of that product we eat, and the more money they make. And I'm sorry that that's what's going on, but it's important for you to understand that that is 100% what's going on. And that's just the surface. I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole today, but that's really the surface of what's going on in our food industry and why I am doing what I'm doing and taking a stand and spreading the word. And I hope that you can help me do that. Help share this video, spread the word with everybody that you know, because it's so, so empowering to know what's going on so that we can decide to make a change in ourselves. And we can, you absolutely can. And the last reason that I believe sugar addiction is one of the worst is that it can be a really, really lonely journey to get off of sugar addiction. And I can speak for myself with this, and obviously a huge motivator, and really the reason that I do what I do with my clients is that I struggled by myself for at least 2 years with trying to get to a confident, healthy place with my relationship with sugar. And the reason it took me so long and was such a roller coaster, I can't even tell you the thoughts that were going through my head, the failures that I went through, was because I didn't have anybody to talk to about it. Nobody really understood that sugar addiction was a thing. Nobody really could relate to me or support me or give me tips or tricks or ideas as to how to walk myself through that journey. And I had to learn it all on my own, which is, was obviously for a reason. And I'm grateful for my struggle and my journey, because now I get to help other people through that in such a easy and streamlined way, right? That's fun and easy and supportive and quicker than 2 years. But it's so lonely. It's so lonely and overwhelming. And I think any of us trying to go down that path, if you're not working with someone or in a support group, you won't make it. Like you won't get through sugar addiction. And with any addiction, community is obviously so important. But because we're just starting to become aware of sugar and food in general as an addiction, it can really be lonely if you're in an area where you can't really get that support. Thank goodness for the internet, but it is still sort of a new up and coming addiction, which it's not new. It's been around for at least 50 or 60 years, but at a societal level, it's kind of new material, new information. So the support out there is lacking. And I get obviously why I'm so motivated to bring that support and do what I can to support everyone in that. So that is a huge list, right? That is a huge list of why I wholeheartedly believe and know in my soul that sugar addiction is the worst addiction to overcome. And I would love to hear your thoughts and comments below. I know that this might trigger some people. You might not agree with me, and that's totally great. I would love to hear if you do not agree with me below. Let's get this conversation started, because it's so, so important just to start opening our minds to what's really going on for ourselves and, at a societal level. Now, one of the great places to start, if you're realizing that you are addicted to sugar, one of the best places that I've found for my clients and people that I've supported to start is to get used to having healthy snacks on hand. So what I've done is put together a sugar-free snack list that you can print out, put on your fridge, put it on your phone, and always have handy between meals when you're really trying to treat yourself or feeling the social pressures, all the things we talked about. You can have these easy go-to snacks on hand. So I'll post a link below. You can download that. It's a completely free PDF list that I put together that you're just going to love, and is really going to help support you as you're working on your own journey through sugar addiction. So I hope you enjoy that. Again, I'll post a link below, and I cannot wait to hear your thoughts and questions about this incredibly powerful topic. All right, everyone, I hope you have an amazing day. Bye.